Here's the space for the media center. This alcove is about 75 inches wide and 26 inches deep. I'll begin by putting the cabinets in place. This is the one for the right side, and there's one on the left also. I'm going to leave it pulled forward a few inches while everything goes together, and then I can push the whole assembly back to the final position. The left and right side cabinets will be held together by two boards along the bottom. The board in front forms an extension of the toe kick, and here I'm drilling holes for the assembly method that allows me to install the fasteners without access to the underside of the cabinets. All the boards and shelves are cut with a skill saw to make sure I get a straight and square cut with an even finish. I tried using a scroll saw first, but it would just pull in different directions and not produce the exact results I need. Now the toe kick is ready to go in place. I'm attaching it with 5/8 inch wood screws. Kind of short screws, but the 4 I'm using on each side will hold very securely. And here's the joist at the back, attaching that as well. Only on the left side at this stage though, so these two are going to tie the cabinets together at the bottom. Next up is the front and back rails, but first let's take a look at how the doweling was done. The front rail was initially cut about a 1/2 inch longer than it needed to be. Then after drilling the holes, I cut off the excess, and that can then be used as a template to drill the holes in the cabinet stiles and the other places for the rear rails as well. Then I just poke the dowels into the holes. The dowels are made to be glued, but there's no need to use glue on this project. The method worked, and the rail slips in place easily, and once the cabinets are tied together, it can't go anywhere. The rail in the back is set at the same height. Now I can pull the cabinets together. All 4 pieces meet nicely with a right side cabinet thanks to the precise cuts I got from the skill saw. In addition to holding the cabinets together at the bottom, the toe kick and the rear joist are also going to support the bottom shelves. The front and back rail are set a little higher and will capture the shelves and keep them in place. The rails are made from the same finished high-grade maple as the cabinets, but the toe kick, which will be covered up, is cut from simpler hardwood. And here's a view of what we have so far, and we can see the shelf slides are already installed with spacers behind them. Here we can see the 2 holes that will locate the center partition on the toe kick and rear joist. The 2 dowels in that partition are enough to keep this piece in place, and no glue here either. So time to drop in the bottom shelves. No need to screw them down or anything, they just drop in place. At least they would if the assembly were at square angles, but that's not the case quite yet until the speaker shelf is in place. Other than that, the bottom shelves fit very well. Again, because of the skill saw and the fine 40-tooth cutting blade I'm using. Yeah, a little tug here helps square things up a bit. Next is the speaker shelf that goes on top of the center divider. There are 4 blind dowel holes in the shelf. The holes were located using a template that was cut off the center divider in the same manner I described before. And on each of the side edges of the shelf I have installed 4 threaded inserts. I'm using brad point drill bits for all these holes to get almost a flat bottom hole with smooth sides without tearing out the wood fibers. So the doweling trick worked again, and the parts matched up perfectly. Now the center divider is positively locked in position. And once these screws are tight, the whole assembly will also be squared up and rigid. With threaded inserts, I can use machine screws to attach the speaker shelf to the cabinets, and this provides some extra holding power without risk of tearing out over time in case, for example, the floor is not quite level and the weight of the cabinet and its contents puts some strain on these joints. The front shelf was notched here to allow it to extend out to the front face of the cabinets. Now we should be able to put in the sliding shelves if everything has gone well. They're held in these full extension ball bearing slides, and I need to work them in and out a couple of times to let the ball bearings settle in the right position. So that went well on both sides. Now there was a gap of 1 inch or so at either side, so 2 fillers were cut from the finished maple stock. They had to have a bit of taper because the walls are not quite vertical and parallel. And the same thing with a countertop. A straight cut would have left too big of a gap, so the edges needed to be shaped to fit the wall. So things are taking shape. Here's what it looks like before the toe kick cover is put in place. Now here the scroll saw came in handy for shaping the toe kick cover to meet with the baseboard. This part did not need any fasteners, it just captured between the carpet and the cabinet. In place of the wood panel doors, there's going to be open frame doors with speaker cloth in the frame. And this is how that speaker cloth is held in the frame. In each of the vertical members there's a curve along the inside edge, and I have cut these laths so that once the cloth is folded around once, they fit snugly into the curve. Now doing the same thing on the opposite side, I try to get the cloth straight across the frame and with a little bit of stretch for a nice appearance. Now on the top and bottom edges there is no curve, but these laths will help keep the cloth in place as well as lock in the vertical laths and prevent them from pulling out. So here's what it looks like with the equipment installed and connected. The subwoofer lives in one cabinet and the other will be home to the vinyl collection. That's part of phase 2 of the project, along with a pair of glass doors in front of the electronics. See you next time.